Hey, this is Liam Shieldsy Prasad from TWA. I'm here with Wilfy Horig.
Yes, hey, what's up? We're doing a deck tech on Patreon Industrial Genomics deck submitted by Phil Ulrich. So thanks very much, Phil, for your idea. It's been I played with it a little bit on Jinteki.net so far, and it's been actually quite good. And so I'll just go through it quickly. Of course, it's not my design, so I can't be too helpful, but I'll try and indicate some things which you might not know. So first of all, the identity industrial genomics increases the trash cost of one of each card, whether installed or not, for each card that's face down in archives. So that kind of pulls your deck a certain way. You want lots of assets which provide recurring resources, cards, credits, whatever, while also having a strategic bent such that you're okay with drawing and dumping a lot of cards in archives and don't really care about, what they do while they're there. So you want to draw, find cards which help your game plan, and discard the ones that don't help your game plan, in the knowledge that even the cards you discard will help your long-term resource base. And I'll just go through the cards quickly. The agendas are I think this is one of the most interesting ways to use this identity is with Vanity Project and the Future Perfect, because it really minimizes your agenda density, and one of the best agenda distributions in the game is to score Vanity Project and a 3-pointer. And so being able to do this requires a huge scoring remote, because Vanity Project is perhaps one of the least safe cards to score, no matter how you go about it. And so managing Vanity Project in your hand, and in your centrals rather, is a big part of maximizing its potential to reduce the number of advancement counters you need to win the game. And so in addition to 3 Future Perfect, 3 Vanity Project, there's also 1 Kronos Project, which is used to give you a sort of operation-like effect in the mid to late game, and also can help you score 7 with Future Perfects. Then I'll move on to the assets. 3 Hostile Infrastructure kind of is the alternate threat when they run archives and your cards get turned face up. Hostile Infrastructure still protects your assets if you have enough credits to res the hostile infrastructure, even if your assets are cheap to res. So it if they're not paying credits, as with the industrial genomics ability, they have to pay cards to hostile infrastructure. And so the economic base of the deck is 3 Melange, 3 Pad, 3 Sundew. 3 Sundew. Yep, there it is. I was looking for it. And so they provide drip economy, and really synergize with the industrial genomics ability, because each turn where the runner leaves them, they provide resources. And so as you increase the number of cards that are in archives, they get more difficult to trash as they provide more benefit. In addition to this, there's 3 Jackson, obviously, 3 Shock, which is very important because it gives you some more archives pressure. It is very cheap, you don't have to expend any resources in it, and every time your opponent accesses the archives to turn off your ability, it makes them lose resources. And while it doesn't have a huge effect, it can be really detrimental in multiples, and it's just generally low cost. Snare is a bit different because it doesn't trigger from archives, but it provides some central protection, and can, of course, like in any Jinteki deck, or even any deck in general, you can kill the opponent out of nowhere. And so it has defensive upgrades, like lots of Jinteki control decks. 3 Marcus Baddie, 2 Caprice Nisei, 1 Ash. 3 Baddie over 2 Caprice because Baddie is better in multiples, and 1 Ash because it's quite flexible. 2 Interns basically works perfectly with your game plan of overdrawing and discarding cards into your archives, because it lets you recur whatever you need, and if your opponent spends their resources to destroy your resources, Interns is a really efficient way to keep the attrition war going. 3 Hedge Fund, nothing needs to be said. 2 Enhanced Login Protocol. This is one of the best payoffs of the Vanity Project Future Perfect Agenda Suite, because if you can have this in play for a very long time, it really, really locks down any runner's aggressive options basically completely. And so the ice is generally fat. There's nothing that only is no binary ice. Every ice costs a lot to get through, and usually a lot to res. 2 Ashigaru, 2 Assassin, 3 Crick, 3 Eli, 1 Excalibur, 1 Susano, and 1 Wall of Thorns, all kind of do their thing. And Assassin is a big include from Data and Destiny, as it is with many other slower decks, or just decks that want bigger ice in general, because it's so punishing on face checks. And so that's the deck. Anything you want to say about it, Shilsey?
Having seen it in action a few times, it is very effective. The ability of industrial genomics is not to be underestimated. The drip econ, whilst weak individually, when you effectively can prevent individual pieces from being trashed by requiring the opponent to pay significantly more credits, you'll then get 2 pieces of drip econ or 3 pieces of drip econ, and at that point their value continues to grow, basically beyond the point where you would ever need to spend a click doing anything other than progressing your game plan, which is just to keep installing these big pieces of ice and scoring behind them. And that's exactly the position you need to be in to score something stupidly large like Vanity Project. And if you can do something like score Vanity Project, the enhanced login protocol and like Caprice Nisei game completely takes over. So yeah, there are lots of really deep synergies here. It can very easily lock people out as the game goes longer, I think. And we'll see how it goes. I think this list, if there is any issue whatsoever, it is that in the early game, there's something of a like a non-combo between trying to overdraw and discard cards when you don't have Jackson, and also fill out your servers with cheap drip econ, and also res gigantic ice, like, because you do need to invest money in things like pads, and if you invest money in Sundu and they run it and it doesn't pay off immediately, or if they like even just run the server and bounce every turn if it doesn't pay off, it's going to be hard to res that ice. And even if you do increase the trash cost, the way you do that is by drawing cards, and without Jackson that could be quite tough. So getting over that hump, I think, is going to be intrinsic, but after that hump, I don't really see how this deck can lose. So
alright, well, I'll just talk about Genomics Pavilion quickly because I forgot to mention it earlier. It just is very good at locking down the runner's options, and there's only one because it is a bit situational and not good in multiples, but it's a very interesting card that we haven't seen very much of. And so we'll be interested to see how the deck goes.
Yeah, right. Great. Enjoy watching.
Thanks.